so nice out. It's like ridiculous. Dry, cool, sunny, breezy. Ridiculous. Are you a moody person? Unmotivated? Overwhelmed? Any other emotion rules your life rather than you? Well, this may change everything. Your feelings and emotions were never, ever supposed to be the ones in charge of you. Ever. The entire point of feelings and emotions is they're your servants. They bring you things. They bring you gifts. Each one has a skill. Each one has a specific thing they can bring you. There's happiness. That's great. There's all different types of happiness. You know, there's a whole cluster of different levels and types of feeling good. There's comfort. There's pride, sense of accomplishment. There's all these good feelings. And then there's fear. Fear has a purpose. It's supposed to keep you from lions and high cliffs. There's doubt. Doubt is supposed to make you stop before you're about to do something erratic that could end in disaster. Doubt is very close to fear, keeping you away from those high cliffs. Doubt says maybe you shouldn't go on that mountain when you are not fully trained, and fear is right next to it, reminding you how well you deal with high cliffs at this moment. And there's anger. Anger tells you when something is not just in the world, and the scales of justice have been tipped too far, that if you don't do something at this point, worse things are going to happen, that you have to do something to set the scales right, to ensure that people don't take advantage and keep taking advantage, or whatever the situation is. There's excitement, affection, laughter, hilarity, empathy, longing, regret, calmness, relaxation, restoration. All these things are like your kingdom. You're the king or queen, and all these are your servants. They're in your kingdom. They're around you. They're supposed to fulfill, they're supposed to add little things to enrich and deepen your kingship, your rule, to make everything better. They're like servants that each have a skill. But you are the master, you are the king, and what deep down inside you want to be following is your heart. What is your destiny? What is your purpose? What makes you feel like this is why I was put on this earth? What dreams do you have? What exciting things do you want to do with your time on this earth? That is who should be in charge. And that's who you want to be in charge. But what you do when you give in to these feelings. See, the feelings are supposed to give you things. When you do something good, you get a good feeling. When you accomplish something, you get a good feeling. When you are on the right track, good feelings are freed up to just give you things. You're showered with all kinds of amazing things. And then, they also enrich your life, giving you sadness at times, giving you, longing and empathy and all these things that help you become a bigger, well-rounded, deeper person. And so they're all great. But you can't put any one of them in charge, or they ruin everything because they're little. They're servants. They were never meant to be the boss. So when you can't get out of bed in the morning, you want to get out of bed. You want to accomplish. You want to kill that day. You want to get all your stuff done. But when you sit there and you choose not to, what are you doing? The emotion for comfort is tugging on you. Stay a little bit longer. The emotion for fear. Oh, this is going to be a scary day. You're going to have to face some things you don't want to face. Like, you're you're giving up your throne and letting these tiny little emotions jump on your throne and act like they're in charge. It's as dangerous as being a parent and having a whole bunch of toddlers and giving them the credit card and giving them the keys to the car and letting them run the household, right? You love them. They bring you great things. They can't be in charge. It's like being an elementary school teacher and letting all the second graders decide what they're going to do today, when they're going to have lunch, what they're going to study, what they're going to do with the room, what they're going to do with the supplies. Unlimited. Do you think they're going to learn reading and math, or do you think they're going to quickly turn the entire classroom into a jungle gym, and pretty soon kids are going to be falling over and getting hurt and crying, and nobody knows how to call an ambulance? This is how you've been living. If you're overwhelmed by emotions, or if you're held back, or if every time you try to do what you really want to do, you're like, not today. You're literally putting your little servants called feelings in charge of your life. And that's the quickest way to ruin your life. They will ruin your life as surely as giving 5 toddlers all the credit cards and all the cash and the keys to the car and all the power to run a household. That's how quickly your feelings will screw up your life. So you kind of have a tug of war. They're not completely in control. They're in control until they really set a fire in the kitchen and they break the TV, and then you take control back. You say, okay, this is ridiculous. I need to take control. I need to be the parent. I'm going to take control of this household. And you take control for a few hours and you get some stuff done. You clean up, fix, get a new TV, you stop the fire, you fix some things. And then you get tired and you lay back down and, here kids, you're in charge again for the next few hours. I don't feel like being in charge. That's what most people do. They go through life. At one extreme is everything they could be that they'll never be because they don't do what they want to do. And then at the other extreme is total disaster, like in the gutter, like they've totally given up, like they're dysfunctional, unable to do anything for society, like society has to take care of them. So there's these two extremes. Most people live somewhere in the middle. They're responsible half the time. And I don't mean responsible, I mean they do what they want to do, what their purpose in life, what their highest level of make my life everything it could be. They do that part of the time, and then they let their emotions sabotage the other part of the time. So they kind of, they go in between. They are usually responsible. They manage to hold down a job most of the time. They manage to do what the job requires most of the time. They manage to show up. But then when it comes to like doing that extra stuff, little extra, that's where your real dreams are at, they let all those emotions like knock that down. No. So they never get to their greatest passions and dreams come true, but they also are not a total flake and a total drain on society. I mean, you do have both extremes. You have the people who conquer the world, and then you have the people who are in the gutter. Those are small percentages, but most of us are in the middle somewhere. And we're okay with that because we see all our friends and family in the middle somewhere. And we probably spend a huge portion of our day comparing, well, I might not be doing this, but I'm not as bad as Susie over there. Like, I'm like this little point on the spectrum, which is 2 points higher than Susie at this little point on the spectrum. So I'm doing pretty good today. Meanwhile, that helps you block out the fact that something is screaming in your head. Your dreams are way over there, and you are taking no steps towards them in months or years. At the end of the day, when it's all over, you're not going to be thinking about Susie. You're not going to be thinking about how your pool is bigger than hers, or you're not going to be thinking about how, your kid is a little bit better behaved than hers. If you let yourself be honest, you'll think about all the things. Wow, I really could have done those things. What was stopping me? Okay, so I painted the picture of your life and its mediocrity. very wonderful. I'm sure you're filled with happiness and joy now that I've painted how dismally mediocre it is. What do you do about it? How do you become that 0.01% of people that like get all the way to the other end of the extreme realizing your dreams and making them happen? You've got to, and you look at all self-help books written often by people who have conquered their dreams, and they're so excited the first thing they want to do is write a book telling more people how to do it. And there might be a lot of shenanigan, like fakes out there of people who, best way to write a book to get successful is to write a book about being successful. I'm sure there's a lot of that in there. But there are a lot of legit people who are millionaires and billionaires or whatever their dreams are. They've achieved huge portions of them, and they write books because they're like, hey guys, this is how to do it. 90% of them come down to managing your emotions. And I'm just saying, don't even manage them. Put them in their place. Let them be the servants. Let them bring you the joy after you finish stuff. Don't let them be in charge and stop you from doing things. So, how? Go get a whole bunch of those books and read them. Or I'm going to give you like a super simple way. And what makes this better than all those books? Nothing. It's just that you're not going to read all those books. But if you take this one thing and you just do it over and over, and you don't forget this video, and you say it to yourself right now 10 times, and then you do it tonight, you say it to yourself 10 times as you fall asleep, and then you say it to yourself in the morning, and then you say it when you don't feel like saying it, and it starts to become a habit, it starts to ring in your head, that will have more power than reading 100 books that you don't act on, obviously. So here's what I'm going to say. First of all, recognize that fear isn't real. You want to get out of bed, but you're scared that your day will be... Fear is not the decider of whether you get out of bed. Fear is the decider of what happens when the lion is in your face. There's no lion. There's no cliff. Fear should shut up. It has no business telling you whether or not to get out of bed. Zero. Absolutely zero. Okay, so you got to tell it to shut up. And then comfort comes in. Oh, please stay here in the bed longer. Please stay another 5 minutes. Hit the snooze button. Comfort has zero place to be in control. Comfort's only job is to come to you when you've done everything you could possibly do and you just have no more strength left to go on, and suddenly something comes and gives you that extra little bit of hope, or somebody comes and gives you a hug, or that's where comfort is. That's where the emotion of comfort is a powerhouse. Not when you're in bed and you need to get up. Comfort is a bad person to listen to at that point. So how do you not listen to these emotions? I was walking through a bookstore the other day, trying to take some time off and rest, which I hate doing. Believe it or not, workaholism is so intriguing to me. So I was forcing myself to not do anything work-wise. I'm like, what do I do with my time? So I'm walking through this bookstore, just letting the titles call to me and just absorbing all of the energy of all the stuff in there. It's very peaceful. I try it sometimes, especially now that nobody goes to bookstores anymore. There's like nobody in there. But anyway, I saw this one book, and this happened to me once before. I saw a book title, and the book title immediately hit me like, oh, that's what you need. Yes, yes. So I bought the book. I went home, I started reading it, and I realized there was nothing in the book that helped me. It was the title alone. The title is all I needed to hear, and the rest made sense. The rest crystallized in my brain. The rest just, once that title was unlocked, my brain could figure out the rest. So I had this book sitting in my house. I haven't gotten past the first chapter and a half, and it's collecting dust now. But if I just look at the title again, it energizes me, because that's all I need. And that's all you need. You just need one thing to hit you. Maybe it'll be this video. Maybe it'll be another video by me or someone else, or some title you saw in a bookstore. But one thing that you consistently practice over and over and over again is all you need to change your life. One phrase. You just got to keep doing it. And just do it like Consider it like candy. Like every time I say this, it's going to make me better. It's sweet taste, a little bit of sweet taste over and over. You could eat candy all day if you knew it wasn't going to be bad for you. Not hard. It'd be very easy. You learned how to do it when you were 2 and you never forgot it. So think of these little phrases. Find the one that works best for you. Put it in your mouth and say it. And think of it tasting like candy every time you say it. Every day, say it as many times as you can remember it. Wherever you are, when you go to sleep, when you wake up, first thing in your head, say it. Whatever that phrase is. So here's one that I saw the other day, just now, in the bookstore. It said the 5-second rule. And I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. Somebody wrote an entire book on if you drop food on the ground, kids say you have 5 seconds to pick it up before it's technically dirty, like 5 seconds for the germs to attach themselves. If you pick it up before 5 seconds, you put it in your mouth, it's still safe to eat. And that's a joke. Everybody knows it's a joke. Maybe some kids think it's real, but, you know, it's funny. So here's this fat, half-inch thick book some guy wrote called the 5-second rule. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how he wrote an entire book on something I explained to you in one sentence. So I picked it up and I read like the blurb and like a couple sentences of the first chapter, and that's when I realized what it was. And then I didn't have to read anymore. And I almost bought it, but I was like, wait, remember last time I did that? And because I'm referencing this book and some guy put in a ton of work into making it, if you're the type of person who will get a lot out of reading the whole book, I suggest you read it. So this is me telling you, just the title of this book helped me. So whoever this author is, go find this book and buy it if you think it'll help you. Like, I'm not telling you don't buy his book. Like, he's making his living off of buying this book that is, I think, could help a ton of people. I'm just saying in this particular instance, that title was all I needed. And I did read through the first chapter mostly, and it just reinforced that, like, yeah, this is one of those phrases that can change your life. So here's his 5-second rule. When you're about to do something, you think of something in your brain, inspiration. And then you pause and consider all the ramifications. And then all the emotions come in and thoughts, and then you realize you're hungry, and then you pause some more, and then you pause some more, and then slowly you decide maybe I'll do it later. And then the chances of you doing it go down, 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 down. And 90% of the time, you never even start it. That's how most of us are. Creatives, people who want to start a business, all kinds of stuff like that. So his rule is, when you think of something, immediately start counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then do it. That absolutely shocks your brain. Like the paddles that, you know, when somebody's in cardiac arrest in the hospital, when you do it, I thought, you know, this is a great one, because what it does, it shuts down all your emotions. All your emotions are like suddenly panic, like, oh crap, he's not listening to us. He's not listening to us. All you're listening to is your countdown. And when you get to the end of the countdown, you're up and you're moving, and the emotions are way back there. That's the cool thing about emotions, like, because they're servants, they're small and they're weak. They can't catch up to you. Once you start moving, they're gone. Once you get out of bed, the fear is gone. Once you get out of bed, the desire for comfort slowly goes down, 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 down as the feelings of shower and coffee and all the other things start bringing you other kinds of comfort. But even if you don't get no shower, no coffee, no nothing, once you start accomplishing things and your blood starts pumping and you're awake and you're breathing the fresh air, that starts to feel more exciting than staying in that bed. And then comfort has nothing left to say because he's way left behind. And fear is way back there because you're excited. Fear is replaced by excitement. But if you chase the excitement, that's not going to work either, because excitement will wear off. So again, the feelings are not in charge. They're supposed to bring you gifts during the day. They might help a little bit, but they're never supposed to be in charge. So back to this 5-second rule. I knew it would work. I knew it would be awesome. But when I tried it, I didn't know how scary it would be. And I don't mean scary like bad scary. I mean like, whoa, like ice cold water in your face. Like, it shifted my brain so quickly it didn't shift it from you're not going to do this to you can do this. It shifted it from you're not going to do this to get the F up out of the bed and move, 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 move. I literally heard the drill sergeant's voice in my head from years ago when I was in basic training. That's how it hit me. It was like I had 5 seconds to move, and if I didn't move, as soon as that last finger went down and the 1 turned to a 0, if I didn't move, then, like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And that is how to live on the edge. I'm not even going to tell you what that is because I just discovered it. So I'm going to do my thing and you do your thing and we'll compare notes. But let me tell you, your feelings are not your master. They are your servants. Put them in their proper place. Go get the 5-second rule in your brain and try it out. You will crush your fears and your intimidation and your squelchy, middle, mediocre, icky, unaccomplishment feeling self. And you will become a warrior. Guaranteed. Edge of the high dive. Ready to jump. Super intense. Guess that's what it needs to kick us into doing those things that we were being so stupid about not doing. Listening to those little tiny voices who were never meant to be in charge, who ruin everything. Go do it, guys. Have a great day.